Hey traders, happy Thursday. This is Ron Haidt at Market Tamer. Hope you're doing great. As always, nothing in this presentation shall constitute a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Trading stocks and options involves risk and specific financial issues should always be addressed with your financial advisor. We'll kick off here with the SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF. I do have a bullish position in it. And the SPY dropped over $2 today, 0.78%, but it paired half its losses. It was down below 288 at one point and managed to rebound off those lows. So we do see a pickup in volume, which will be noteworthy if we finish near the lows of the day. It's less noteworthy because we paired half the losses. Yes, we're below the 5-day EMA in blue and the 20-day EMA in red, but I told you guys before, I really want to watch this 50-day in orange. That's an SMA, simple moving average, and it's an institutional moving average. We get below there, and that's what raises more yellow flags that maybe a pullback is finally underway. And if we take a look at the VIX, it did pop today, 22%, but it's still at 14.22. We didn't even finish at the highs of the day, which, you sort of expect. If the S&P is going to rally off the lows, the VIX is also going to rally off its highs. But we really didn't shoot up all that much. We were at such a low reading the day before, below 12, that, a quick pop to 14 really isn't that much. So this is still holding up, I would say, okay for the equity markets, but I think if the S&P gets below the 50-day, that's what's going to send this VIX soaring. Now, DIA, the diamonds, they were down $1.70, barely below the 5-day EMA, still above 20-day EMA. These guys are just fine right now. If we take a look at the Qs, the 50-day SMA, remember, the 50-day is the orange line right there, right there. We were below it, but we managed to get back above it. Now, the Qs finished at the lower end of their range. So the volume here, that spike in volume, is a little more noteworthy. But again, it would be much stronger, more valid if we had finished at the end of the day. Keep an eye on the 50-day, because if we take out the 50-day in orange and we take out today's intraday lows, that would be a big red flag for the Qs. Now, the IWM and the MDY. Small and mid caps coming down right on schedule. No surprise, they were down at 1.4% today. They've been having high volume, and they're finishing at the lows of the day. That is completely different when compared to the spiders, because the SPY rallied, right? Got half its losses back today. Not the IWM, finished near the lows. MDY, mid caps, near the lows of the day. Another pop in volume. You can see the red bars are beating the black bars. So this is bearish. Seasonally, so it's again right on schedule, which is a great segue into these stocks. Here is AMD, Advanced Micro, and this stock was just on a really nice run. I have highlighted it before, and then all of a sudden it goes sideways, and now it starts breaking support, and down we come. Why does that happen? AMD is a seasonally bearish stock. The big money is now leaving. You can see all these red bars, and they're going to find something else to trade, let's say, or they're at least going to cash, but they're not buying more AMD. So if you ever seen a stock go up, all of a sudden pause and go down, and you're saying, well, nothing changed. There were no downgrades per se. There was no bad news events. And poof, there it goes. You got to check the seasonality. Where does the big money go? How about DXCM, DXCM, another stock? This thing was around $60 a share in March. Just keeps on going up around 150, and then all of a sudden it starts coming down. Now we're down about $15 in the last week. Why? Seasonality. This is also bearish right now. How about Hertz, HTZ rental car company, coming down right on schedule? And how about a stock like Shutterfly, SFLY? This thing's been coming down. Again, these are all bearish seasonals. So I know in previous videos I'll highlight, bullish seasonality because the market is bullish most of the time throughout history and throughout the year. But there are bearish times too. And even something like a Shutterfly or a Hertz, these stocks have been coming down despite the market going up. So seasonality does work both ways. And tomorrow I'm holding an event at noon Eastern. I mentioned it earlier in the week. The link is below this video. You can copy and paste it and put it in. I'm going to pull the curtain back and show you exactly how to spot these seasonal stocks, whether they're bullish or bearish, because we are coming into one of the best times of the entire trading year. As we get through October, the next 45-day period is really strong, and then it kicks right back in January. And I'll show you which stocks have historical track records of trending higher 75, 80, 85, 90% of the time. And It's an unbelievably enlightening way to look at picking stocks instead of struggling all weekend long, time away from your family trying to figure out which ones have a chance to go higher. I can actually serve those up on a silver platter. So make sure you grab that link, put it in your browser, and register ASAP. There is a 500 seat limit, and I expect us to max out again. All right, a couple other stocks here to take a look at. I do want to highlight Amazon because we might be seeing a bit of a trend change here. We have a double top, and bears don't get too excited here. But there was a top at the beginning of September, there's a top beginning of October, and now we are just barely below the 50-day SMA in orange. Right now, for Amazon to re-energize its bullish trend on the daily charts, we got to take out those highs. And that closing high right now is 2,039.51. Just round it up and say 2040. We get above 2040, that re-energizes the bullish trend. Right now, it would be given a neutral reading with a yellow flag because it doesn't take much lower, another couple bucks, and the target's this swing low just under 1,800, and then down here to 1,700, then the 200-day. I mean, even if Amazon would come down here, it's not the end of the world. The stock's had an amazing run, but you've been put on notice today with a close below the 50-day. Here's Intel. Now, Intel's been in a nice downtrending channel, but look at these black bar spikes, and we're breaking out of a clean drawn technical channel. We broke out back on Tuesday. Wednesday failed breakout above the 200-day in purple, the institutional moving average, and now today we bounced off the 5-day. If we can get, and we could round it up and say to $50, that would be a re-energizing of the bullish trend. The breakout's already occurred from the downtrending channel. The target 52.50, and then back up at those previous highs, ballpark at $56. And then two other stocks, Nike and DXCM, similar to Amazon, heads up. Nike has broken the 50-day in orange. First time it's done that since April. Once it got above the 50-day, every touch was defended and bought by the bulls, sometimes perfectly, right? You've now closed below the 50-day, lows of the day. That's a sign of a change in sentiment. So beware here. Right now, the stock would be given neutral to bearish. I would actually just go flat out bearish given the break of the 50-day. And then here is DKS. And by the way, before I change to DIX, with Nike's earnings report just a couple days ago and the lack of the ability to move higher, potential bear calls up there at resistance now I think could look potentially attractive, of course, in a paper trading account. Now here's DIX. Once DIX got above the 200-day back in March, it back tested a couple times, actually more than a couple times, and it was defended every time. We never closed below it. Here it was defended intraday on earnings. Well, guess what happened now? Now we're below it. There is a little bit of support right around 33, which, another 50 cents away. Below that, then the gap fell down at 30, which is about a 10% drop. So Amazon, Nike, DIX, all breaking 50-day. These are yellow flags showing a trend change. I would say Nike arguably looks the worst, okay? With that, I wish you guys a great rest of the week. I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's session at 12 noon Eastern, and I'll show you the hottest stocks for year end. I can also show you the bearish stocks for year end too. Take good care, folks.